Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Nicolas in Colombia, and this pump is from a 95, I believe it was, 95 S-Class W140. It's a door lock pump that sits under rear seat on the passenger side, and it controls your door locks, trunk release, headrest, folding option, lumbar supports, and it also does, this particular one does the rear park antennas, you know, the little antennas that come out from the trunk edges, so you know where your edges are when you're parking. So now what we're gonna do now is the first thing is the pump was repaired. I replaced the motor, I replaced these little connectors. They were broken off. They're very important, these little pieces here, the ends, they must be here. This is where sealing happens. This is where the pipe is sealed to the connector. So if these are broken, then once you put the connector back on the pump, it's not going to seal well and it's going to burn or it's not going to operate at all, for that matter. We also have the pressure gauge here just to show you that the pump generates pressure and shuts down. We have 0.5 bar one way, 0.5 bar the other way. So this is about where we want to be with pressures. Excuse me. So it's upside down, obviously, so you can see, but that's basically just about to show that it actually reaches the pressure and reaches the vacuum. Now, to duplicate the vacuum storage tank and pressure storage tank, this is our pressure storage tank. So I'm going to crush this bottle so you can see that it is creating pressure, and it's going to be my storage tank duplication. And this is the regular just piece of pipe that I'm going to close the vacuum storage tank supply line because when the vacuum and pressure are created, they're stored in those tanks, and the pump should not activate if there are no leaks and everything is sealed off. If they're leaking, then the pump will activate. It's gonna keep cycling, so that can burn the motor, because if it cycles too many times it will overheat the motor and then it goes bad. This pressure storage tank also feeds you lumbar, the supports that are behind your seat, behind your back, in front passenger and driver seat, front seats. So if that circuit is leaking, obviously the pressure is going to be leaking through that circuit, and then the pump will reactivate many times, burn the motor. So you want to test that circuit as well. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to close the vacuum storage tank supply. I'm going to disconnect my pressure hose. I'm going to connect pressure storage tank supply line just to show you that it actually activates and pumps it up and shuts down when it's full. So once the power is on, it's gonna take a few seconds, well, maybe like 10 seconds before pump activates to create pressure and vacuum. So here we go. The power is on now, so we're just gonna wait for a few seconds. Okay. So what happened here is then it pumped the pressure, enough pressure in the storage tank, and pump shuts down and stays off. That's good. By the way, that circuit I had to readjust because it was misadjusted. It never created pressure there, so lumbars did not really work on that vehicle because it couldn't create the pressure. The micro switches were not set up properly. The vacuum now, so because I don't have visual demonstration, what I can do is I can just unplug it. You hear the pump operation creating vacuum. As you can see, when I'm closing it, pump shuts down when it has created enough vacuum. Alright, so that circuit is good. Now we're going to connect the pump, we're going to connect this pressure gauge to a pump door lock circuits. So again, here we want to see about 0.5 bars up and down, like so. When I lock the car, for example, then we're gonna see negative vacuum. Then if we're gonna unlock it, then we're gonna see pressure, positive. So let's just duplicate locking and unlocking from inside the vehicle. Okay, so let's do lock. So we're going to have pressure. I'm sorry, we're gonna have vacuum. So as you can see, this was locked, created vacuum. Now we're going to unlock, created pressure. Okay, so again, locking creates vacuum, 0.6 about bars, which is good, and pressure I've also about 0.55, which is within specifications. So we're good there. It locks and unlocks. No leaking in circuits. Micro switch is set up properly because it's supposed to shut down when it reaches these pressures. If it shuts down when it reaches 1 bar, then it's too much pressure. Or if it shuts down when it creates 1 bar in vacuum, too much vacuum. So 0.5, 0.6 is just exactly where you want to be. Okay, so let's just disconnect the hose from this terminal. Let's go to a trunk handle now. I'm going to show the trunk handle. Trunk handle works differently. Basically, once the trunk is open, then the pressure is created, and once the trunk closes, then it creates vacuum to pull handle back in. So pressure, handle comes out, vacuum, handle goes back in. So let's activate that. So here, let's see what we're going to do. I'm just trying to count these terminals here. Okay. So here, the trunk is open and it created enough pressure for handle to come out. Once I remove this probe from a connector, that will tell the pump that the trunk is closed. It will create vacuum to pull handle back in. And that's it. It did shut down again at proper pressures, 0.5, 0.6. Very good. So handle on the trunk works just fine. No leaks also inside the pump, because if you have a leak right now, it will not reach that pressure or that vacuum and it will continue running, it will shut down. Now, next thing is the vacuum that creates for headrest releases. So it's gonna do double. Okay, so as you can see, the gauge moves because the relay inside clicks, so it diverts the air from one manifold to another. So this is working just fine. Again, one more time. Pump shuts down, releases your headrest, and that's it. So that works good. And last is the little antennas that come out on the trunk, not on the trunk, at rear fenders, at the ends of rear fenders. So those are for parking assist. So basically they will come right out when you put it in reverse, but they don't go down right away, just in case if you just went to neutral and then you put it back into reverse right away. So there is a little delay. So I'm going to activate them. The pressure will come up to push those rods up, these little antennas up, and once I release the probe from a terminal, then it'll take a little bit of time before pump will create vacuum to pull them back. So let's do that. Okay, so now I'm holding the probe to the terminal. I relieve it. It'll take a second. As also As also seen here, the pressure shuts down at the right reading, so we're good here. And basically that would be all for the testing of circuits. All the circuits work just fine. I have no problems with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this thing on my bench overnight energized. I wanted to see if anything gives in on the pressure storage tank or on the vacuum circuit. So internally I want to make sure that they're not leaking. If something is leaking that I cannot see in 5-10 minute test, when I come in in the morning to test, to check up on it, obviously it's supposed to be inflated. Vacuum should be held. Once I pull this pipe off, I will hear a vacuum rushing inside the pump. Alright, so for now I'm going to shut it down. I want to show you a couple of more things and wrap it all up. Put it on the bench. Okay, so like I said, the pump, I replaced the motor. Okay, the one capacitor here, it's very old, and the pipe, so that's pretty much standard. Now when I got this pump, there's little pieces right here, little tabs. Actually, let's see if I can get you a better shot on these little things. Alright, so what we'll see here, yeah, this is about right, more or less. So this was broken. These were broken off. 3 of them were broken off. These are the very ends of connectors, so they cannot be broken. So I did fix it right the way I did it. So this is all basically. If any problems, I mean, if you break these, I can still repair them. So the way I did them is that I have my vacuum pipes right here. And these are rubber hoses. They're much smaller than pins, so than the actual terminals, much smaller. So what I had to do, I had to actually stretch them and put them onto the terminals, as these little pins are missing. As you can see, the heights are different. So the bends are pretty much okay, because that's how exactly it is in my 95 S600. You cannot bend them too much. So obviously when you put your cover back on the pump, you might have to make a little bit of a cutout so you don't crush them, because if you crush them, you close the passage, of course. You connect your existing pipes to these terminals. They're the same exact terminals as you find on the pump case, but they're just remote now, so they're with these pipes. And that's basically how you do that. These pieces were broken off. This is where a little small manifold sits. Not really relevant much. A little piece of plate over there on the bottom, that's just to hold these pipes so they don't flap around, just so they stay in place. Now back here, the pipe is replaced, that rubber hose, and pump generally cleaned up, the pressure adjusted, the motor replaced, thread lock and all that aligned. I ran in the pump for a few times for the test, did not really hit the motor up a lot at all. That's a really good thing. And this basically will conclude the test in this video. What I'm gonna do next is, like I said, I'm going to put these screws back in here, and then I'm going to leave it on the bench energized and make sure that it does not deflate and the vacuum and pressure are holding on. And that's gonna prove it. Then pump will be ready for shipping. Alright, so this is basically all. This is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video was for the door lock pump, common failure on W140 S-Class cars, 92 to 99, and coupes, 93 to 99. I believe the last year was 99 for coupes also. So they're a little different pumps. There's many different part numbers, different features built into these. So you can't just like get one from 92 and put it into 99. That's not gonna work. Same for 99. You don't put 99 pump into 92 because the schematics is different. Yeah, 98, 99 are CAN bus pumps. They're different from regular pumps like we see here. Okay, so the newer ones are programmable. These are not programmable. These have built-in features. And that's it. Alright, so this is all. This is Victor at historiamercedes.com. For more repairs, or if you want your pump to be repaired, just send me an email or call me, and I can certainly rebuild your pump. Thank you for watching.